But Ayub Khan came up with the idea of basic democracies, if you remember, which was a much more manageable group of people, much like the
Yeah.
Majlis-e-Shura of General Ziaul Haq later, whom he could control easily. It was much more manageable than the whole population of Pakistan. And so he relied on local potentates, his feudal partners in the Punjab, in Sindh, as well as Balochistan and in the then frontier province. And so that pattern has continued. And Nawaz Sharif obviously found this extremely valuable as a tool for garnering support. There is one thing I should mention, and he will bear some responsibility for this in Pakistani history. It was during his term as Prime Minister that the first bill that was passed against horse trading in Parliament. You know how that happens.
Right.
Previously, Parliament was like Parliament anywhere, where the elected representatives voted their conscience or voted for whoever paid them the most behind the scenes. In order to stop that, Nawaz Sharif proposed, and interestingly, all the political parties agreed to the idea that anyone who voted against his or her party line would give up their seat and have to run for re-election under some other banner. And so that became a tight control. It was a kind of a Soviet type control over parliament in Pakistan. And it eliminated the desires and the wishes of the constituents who had elected that individual to parliament. So I think that will remain a negative point in the balance of his accounts politically.
It's also thought that Sharif's choice of military chiefs has reflected a tendency to want to engineer things so as to get his own man at the top. And yet all his military appointments seem to have come back to haunt him. Why do you think that is?
I think initially it was a lack of understanding of how the military functions, and not just Nawaz Sharif. Even Benazir Bhutto did not really fully understand how the military functioned, how decisions were made, how it was organized, how disciplined it was, and how narrow and steep the pyramid of authority was within the military. I remember my own conversations with her, many conversations in which she used to grill me about all of this. And I was surprised that she didn't know all this or hadn't studied it